Hola, José Miguel.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
English.
Hello.
Whenever you listen to me, you need to turn your brain to English. No Spanish permitted. Okay.
Okay.
Pamela told me that you have already printed the material for the class of today. That
Yes.
material is very complete because it has the whole test. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
So we can work with it, do the listening. So we're going to do the listening for the first part in both papers. Okay.
Okay.
I have some listening tips I'd like to share with you. Okay,
Mhm.
let me share it. Share. Here it is. Okay, those are listening tips for the IELTS test. Okay, it says number one,
Okay.
at the beginning of each section, wait a second because it moved. Okay, let me open it again. It closed, it unexpectedly closed. At the beginning of each section, it says read each section carefully before the recording starts. This will help you to follow the recording, identify the answers. Number
Mm.
two, after completing a section, it is better to look ahead and read the question for the next section than to worry about the last section. Remember, you're going to listen only once. Okay? So instead of stop thinking, okay, is this the answer? I'm not sure. Let me remember. While you're in that process, the second listening will begin. So you get the answers and go on. You will sometimes have a list of options to choose from an answer. The possible answers might be listed in alphabetical order and not necessarily in the order you will hear them. In Cambridge tests, the questions are organized according to the pace in which the information is given. So question one belongs to the first, I don't know, 1 or 2 minutes of listening. Question two will follow, question three, and so on. So question five is, is at the end of the recording. But in the case of the IELTS, the information is scarce into the speech. So it's not question one is at the beginning. Question one can be at the end. Okay.
Okay.
That's why yesterday says that the listening is the most difficult skill because you have to listen, read, and write at the same time. Because you listen, you read the question, say, okay, they are talking about, I don't know, the equatorial line is an imaginary line that is placed just at the middle of the asteroid ball that we know as our world or the Earth. So maybe what is the shape of the earth will be the last question or the third question, but not necessarily the first. Okay.
Right.
Be careful to note word limits. If there is an instruction, write no more than 2 words. Writing more than 2 words will mean you will receive no marks at all for your answer, even if some of the words were correct. If they say, as in Cambridge, you need to write 1 word, 2 words, a number, a date, or a time, okay, you have to work into those framework. Okay, you have to write 1 word, 2 words, a number, a date, or a time. Here they tell you all answers must have 2 words, maybe. Jose Miguel had problems. Try to listen for keywords or synonyms, what have the same or nearly the same meaning as another word from the question to help you identify the answer. For example, in the recording, you might hear, she likes going to the gym and playing tennis. On your answer sheet, this could appear as she's an active person. So there is not only listening, but also making inferences about the meaning of some words. Okay, let me see. No, he hasn't got it. You may be asked to write down words that have been spelled out in the recording. In order to do this well, you need to know the English alphabet and how each letter is pronounced. For example, the letter is pronounced as W. Okay, so You might have spelling. Listen carefully for words which indicate which stage of the recording you are listening to. For example, firstly, my next point to sum up, these words will help you identify which question you have reached. 8, as you listen to the recording, cross out options that don't fit. This makes it easier for you to find the right answer. I think I have mentioned it before that sometimes it is easier to find the wrong answers instead of the right one. If you are writing date as an answer to any question, remember that there are several correct ways to write them. 24th April, April 24, and 24 April without the TH are all correct, British or American style. If there are questions you cannot answer, leave them and move to the next question. This will help you to stay calm and positive. Go back to those questions at the end if you have time. Okay, that's why you're going to be given a pencil and paper, because you might write the answers and maybe put a question mark next to it and then reconsider your option. 11, after the last recording has ended, you have 10 minutes. In your case, that is online, you're gonna have only 2 minutes to transfer your answer from the listening booklet to your answer sheet. The thing is that they give you 10 minutes because you write them on a piece of paper and then you pass them on the answer sheet. When you take it online, you put the definite answer online, so you won't have those 10 minutes, okay? They say wait for don't make the mistake of copying these answers across to the answer sheet in between sections, or you may miss important information about the next section of the test. What I just said, if you are thinking about if your answers from the first section are okay, the second section is starting, okay? Wait until the end of section 4 before transferring, or in this case, reconsidering your answers. Do you have any question, Pamela, about the tips for doing the listening?
We're doing the test online, right? For example,
after I have checked, oh my God, this cat is shedding. After I checked the dates and I show you the dates, the upcoming dates for taking the test, there is no presential in Ecuador, only online.
Okay, okay.
So unless you decide to wait for an on-site test, you must take it online.
Okay.
In Canada, if you go to a capital city or an important city, you can take it presential. Okay, but in other cities, small cities and towns, it is given online. And for foreign countries like Ecuador, they have online and presential. But it depends on the country, it depends on the situation, on the date. I have a student who's waiting to take B2, Cambridge B2. He had already paid for the test, but due to the situation in the country, it has been postponed and postponed and postponed. It has been postponed 3 times. So he's still waiting to take his test. He should have taken it January the 16th. But it has been postponed. They say, okay, we're gonna do it January the 19th. And no, we're gonna do it day before yesterday. And no, every week he gets a date.
Oh my God.
And the date is never the right one because of the situation. The thing is that the president says we are in a, what did he say? Which were his words? Something like we are in a complicated military situation, something like that.
Yeah, right.
The thing is that most people don't understand that he declared civil war.
Yes.
Okay, because the words he used, maybe not to make the people panic, maybe not to make people panic or or feel more insecure or maybe even protest on the streets was that thing of we are in a delicate military situation, or the country is in some kind of situation in which the army and the navy will get on the streets to catch the crooks.
Yeah.
But actually, the real meaning of his words was civil war.
Yes.
Imagine if he says civil war, nobody will go out. People will panic and go to the supermarkets and buy food and everything. Okay, people might not go out. They wouldn't send their children to school anymore. So it's a series of visceral reactions that people might
Yes.
have if they listen to those words, civil war.
I know, yes.
And it's not Civil War Iron Man, but Captain America. But a real, yes, because you know there is a movie, Civil War, Captain
Yes.
America versus Iron Man. One of my favorite movies.
Oh, okay.
I love Marvel movies. I'm a fan in Marvel
Really?
since I was like 8, 10,
Oh.
10 years old.
And have you seen all of them?
All of them. In
Really?
order, in chronological order, by groups. So all the Thor ones, all the Iron Man ones, all the Avenger ones. And I
Oh,
and I like to watch them. Hey, if I'm home and there is no movie I would see, I mean there is no new movies in the platforms, I usually watch in Disney any of the Avengers.
oh,
I like those movies.
that's
Eh,
interesting.
yeah, and the thing is that when I was a child, when I was 10, uh, I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital. I'm throwing things at the cat who is at the window. I had to stay at the hospital for 2 weeks. And as I loved reading, my father, every single day, I was in the hospital where my father worked. And every single day he passed by my room and he brought me comics.
Mm.
But he knew I didn't like stupid comics. I don't like Disney. I don't like Mickey Mouse. So one day he found, but she knows I like a Thor because there was a cartoon about Thor and Captain America on TV, and I watched them. So he brought me lots of Marvel comics, 3 or 4 every single day for almost a month. So my collection of Marvel was really large.
Oh, and do you still have it?
No, when I was 12, we moved from our
Mm.
house to another place, and I have them in a box.
All
And
right.
my mother gifted the box to someone else. So when I
Oh,
arrived to the new house, I was looking for my box and I didn't find it. Mommy, where is my comic box? Those were all papers. I throw them away. Say, what? You throw them
oh,
away?
oh.
No, I gave it to Fulanito de Tal, who is younger than you. You are 12. You're too old to be reading those. And I remember I liked Doctor Strange very much because the first image I have from the comics of Doctor Strange was that part of the movie in which he flies from the stairway and goes down with the cape opening and his hands like this. It
Uh-huh.
was the first image I saw from Doctor Strange. And when I saw it in the movie, I almost cried. I said, oh my God, I saw it when I was 8.
Oh,
That's why I like Marvel. It makes me remember my childhood, my father.
yeah.
Yeah, and of course, I watched
Of
all
course.
the movies, but I don't like the new movies.
Really? The new movies? No.
Yeah, the Marvels, I didn't like the
Uh-huh.
Marvels. No,
Um,
I only saw the first part of the movie, and I stopped. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all
and why? Wait, is that?
because I don't know if it's the script, but it doesn't convey the same emotion like Captain Marvel or like that series in Disney about Nick Fury, it doesn't convey the same emotion, the same thrilling feeling. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't
Mm.
see it. There is only one movie I haven't seen because I feel it's going to affect me, and it's Guardian of the Galaxy. I haven't seen it yet. I need to be very, very still. And I didn't like Quantum Mania. I didn't like it. I expected something different.
Oh.
Because, oh yes, because I thought that what you saw in the what you saw in the previous movie from Ant-Man and the Wasp and from Ant-Man gives you an idea how the microverse was. Okay, the
Mm.
subatomic realm. So you have an idea. And then when we have the movie, we found out that there are countries, there are people, that the woman was everywhere, that she was an important person. So it doesn't make sense with the previous movies, because in the previous movies, they say what's an empty space and you never saw anything. Even
Ah,
I
okay.
checked the previous movies to
Uh-huh.
see if somewhere in some scene you could see like a building or something in the background that you say, okay, yes, the idea is there. But we didn't find anything. So
Oh,
we didn't, it was, the script has nothing to do with the previous one. And that
really?
thing of including the little girl, her daughter, as another person in the realm, it is not in the comics. It's not canon.
Ah, okay.
And with Marvel and Star Wars, I'm a fan of the canon and in the Lord of the Rings, because if the canon says, for example, that Luke Skywalker didn't have a father,
Uh-huh.
okay, because he was, not Luke, Anakin, because he was created by the Force through the Emperor Palpatine. He managed the Force to create the most powerful Sith Lord, but he made a mistake, and instead of getting the Sith Lord, he got a human woman pregnant, who gave birth to Anakin, in which the Force was the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody says no, because the father of Anakin was some guy, some random guy, but no, if you know the Star Wars universe, you know that he has no father.
Okay.
And then you get the relationship between uh, the use of Christian parameters with Star Wars,
Ah, okay.
because they
Yes.
say that it was part of the canon, okay, that
Yes.
Luke Skywalker was the one with the Force, and the Force passed through Anakin, and the Anakin has the Force because it came straight from the Force realm. So that's canon. That's it should be.
Okay.
And those are my three expertise area. No, my fourth expertise area: Matrix, Star Wars, Lord of the Ring, and Avengers.
So you're into art? Do you like also art, movies
Yes, and books.
and books?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a very non-pragmatic education.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's very.
my father used to say, when I take a book that my mother considered inconvenient for some reason,
Mm-hmm.
okay, my father said, if she's interested in that, she will read the book. If she reads the first part and she doesn't understand it, interesting for her, she will drop it.
Mm-hmm.
So since I was a child, I've read things that maybe other people wouldn't consider suitable for children. I read Shakespeare at the age of 9.
Really? Wow.
Yes. And the Greek guys, Pharaoh, Aristotle, when I was 12.
Oh.
And Esopus when I was 8. So I don't have that's why I say I have a very non-traditional education. My sister and my brother were different. They they were. My sister is also an avid reader. She's a orchestra conductor. You know, the people who do this at the orchestras. And of course, her education was completely different. At the age of 10, she was a very good violin player. She studied violin since she was 7. And today she has a degree in art and a master in education, in music education.
And she's a master of what? How do you say orchestra?
Orchestra. She's an orchestra conductor like Dudamel, like Leonard Bernstein, like Herbert von Karajan. So she's the one that directs the orchestra. But in Venezuela, that is not something that gives you enough for a living. Okay, so she works as a as a music teacher at an international school. She plays the piano, she plays the violin, she plays the flute, she plays lots of instruments because that's what her BA is about, music. But her education was more traditional than mine. I was like the experiment, my father experiment.
Wow.
That's why I don't play Monopoly. I don't play those question and answer games. I don't play any of that. And it has helped in my profession as a translator because I can manage some information and knowledge that other translators don't because of my education. Well, I read the Bible when I was 11, and I read the Quran when I was 12, and I read the Bhagavad Gita when I was 14, and I read the Path of the Octuple Ways, that is Buddhism, when I was 14. So I also have some knowledge about religions. As I said, I was the guinea pig for my father. He bought the books and
Wow.
told me, do you want to read about religion? Take it. And I read also mythology, Greek and German mythology when I was like 9. I've read a lot, as I said, that's on Friday. I have read a lot. So here we have the first part. Do you have it printed? We're gonna do this part in the first and in the second document. Okay? So first step, read. This says, currently the man is studying. So which is the first idea that comes from your mind? What is the listening about? The first question gives you the topic. What do you think is the topic for this listening?
About studies,
Mhm.
studies, but grown up studies like university studies, maybe.
Yes, okay. BA, BS, postgrad and master. Okay, pre-graduate studies and postgraduate studies. Okay, and besides studying, which process of studying are they talking about? The man wants to study. When are the registration packs available for first-year students? And to complete the registration process, the student has. So which step of studying is this? Is this about? Which step of
Uh,
studying?
I think is the how do you say the admission part where the student has to collect all the papers and bring it to the university at
So
this
yes,
oh,
notice registration packs, registration process. So it is not postgrade, it is not advanced studies, okay? but something for someone who is starting to study, because they're talking about registration packs and registration process. So it might be said that once you read, you can get the idea about what you are expecting about. Now comes the second process. Which words do you think we'll hear in the listening? Which words do you think you will find?
Studies,
Studies,
topics,
subjects.
yes,
That is materias. Subjects, what else?
time length,
Times,
times,
periods, terms.
yes,
Terms means periodo académico.
okay,
And what else?
Month,
do you know this word?
Deadline, yeah, deadlines.
Okay, the limit of time for doing something, because they say to complete the registration process, they give you some period of time, so we can say those were the deadlines. Okay, what else? What about the level? What about the place? Is that for high school, university, college?
Yes. The place, the level.
Location. The place where it is, we call it location. Okay, maybe it is also about code registration forms, planillas.
Forms.
Okay, sign, have to sign a form. You have the verb to fill, llenar. Okay, you may have also, let me see, college or university, not high school, not elementary school, not vocational school. So this is a process that should take a matter of seconds, okay? Because first of all, you won't have too long time, very long time for reading and doing all this process. It must be as fast as possible. Say, okay, studying, I want to study registration. Okay, it's about university studies, subjects, topics, deadlines, people, university, college. So it should be a very fast process. And this helps you like to set your mind in the topic. So you're expecting to listen, things like that, and your brain is only going to register that kind of vocabulary in the listening. It's a cognitive fact. Okay. So let me leave this here and let's listen only to the first part. Okay, let me share. You have your piece of paper with you?
Yes, the first part is question 1 to 4, right?
Yes, that's why we're going to listen in both papers. Okay, give me a second. Let me open this.
I'm sorry. The another group of papers is also the same topic, 1-4.
Yes. Now we're going to have the first part that was we were discussing yesterday. Okay. So notice that even here in the listening, you have the same page. Okay. Questions 1 to 4, choose the correct letters. So we're going to listen only to that part. That is what we are focusing on this week. Remember, only once.
You are about to hear a conversation between a man and a woman who are having a discussion about enrolling in a university course. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7.
So notice, first you have some time to look at the question 1 to 4, no 1 to 7. Okay? This is DVDs, this is businessman. Okay? This is the time you have for checking.
Now, listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 7.
1 to 7, but this is, we're going to do 1 to 4.
Registrar's office, this is Pam.
Yes, hello. I'm calling about enrolling to study at the university. This is the right number?
Yes, this is Mitchford University admissions. What would you like to know?
Well, basically I need to know what I have to do to be enrolled as a student. You see, I'm currently studying education at another school. I've just finished my first year, but I'm not really enjoying it. I think I'm more interested in accounting. My dad teaches maths, so I thought it might be a good choice. Well, better than business anyway.
Okay. Have you received a registration pack?
No? How can I get one of those?
Well, you've got to have one to register. You can enroll at the university at any time after you receive a registration pack. These are usually available from September for first-year and transferring students, and from November for returning students. On the basis of the information contained in the registration pack, you should attempt to make a firm choice about which courses to study before completing your form.
I see. So I've only got a month to get my registration pack in. Can you send me one?
Sure. If you are close to a high school, the registration pack and university prospectus are available from the Careers Advisor. Would that be helpful?
Well, the closest school's too far away and I haven't got a car. Are there any other ways you can send it to me?
Well, for prospective students who have already left school, the registration pack and prospectus are available from the university information line. But that might not be of help for you?
No, not really.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you give me your contact details and I'll send a pack out to you. At least that would be a start.
Okay, sounds good.
Right. Firstly, what's your name?
Richard Dreyfus. That's Dreyfus.
Your address there, Richard?
Unit 12, 15 Sportsman Avenue. That's Sportsman, Mermaid Beach. 4554.
And your telephone?
Yes, I won't give you my home. Mobile's best. 0414. Hang on a minute, I don't call myself usually. I think it's 0414 658 339. Yes, that's it.
Okay, now, do you have email?
Yes, I do. It's Dreyfus, my last name, at igo. That's IGO.com. All lowercase letters, of course.
Okay.
Before you listen to the
Okay.
So, which is your answer for number one?
It's
Currently.
letter education.
Education. Yes, you're right. He's
Oof.
studying education.
I'm confused because
Currently studying education, and he says,
Yeah.
but I'm not enjoying it. So I'd like to
Uh-huh.
change.
yes.
What
His
does
father
he-
is math.
Uh-huh.
I think. Yes.
The man wants to study education, business or accounting?
Business. B.
Accounting.
Oh,
Accounting. Okay, so this one is not right. And then we're going to listen to see why.
okay.
When are the registration packs available for first year students? She gives a lot of
Yes, and September
September. Yes, that's true.
because it says that for returning students is November.
Yes.
So that's the confusion. Yeah.
To complete the registration process, the student has 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months?
1 month.
1 month. That's fine. Okay. 3 out of 4. So we are good by now. So let's listen for trying to find the real answer for this.
All right.
You are about to hear a conversation between a man and a woman who are having a discussion about enrolling in a university course. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7.
So notice the time they give you. It's like 1 minute, something likewise.
Now, listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 7.
Registrar's office, this is Pam.
Yes, hello. I'm calling about enrolling to study at the university. This is the right number?
Yes, this is Mitchford University admissions. What would you like to know?
Well, basically I need to know what I have to do to be enrolled as a student. You see, I'm currently studying education at another school. I've just finished my first year, but I'm not really enjoying it.
Okay, I'm currently studying, so he used the same word, currently.
I think I'm more interested in accounting.
I think I'm more interested in accounting.
Oh, okay, okay.
My dad teaches maths, so I thought it might be a good choice.
My father teaches math, so I think it's going to be a good choice.
Well, better than business anyway.
Well, better than business anyway. Okay, so which are the wrong options? Education, because he's not enjoying his studies in education, okay? And he says, I'm interested in accounting. So, okay, accounting. Let's see if the other two options are out of consideration. But if
Yes.
you notice that he says, I'm studying education and I don't like it, I am not enjoying it. So you know that education is out of question. Okay?
Yes.
So education is out. And if you're not sure about accounting, he says it's better than business. Okay? Those are the keys that you need to
Yes.
get from it. Okay? But it was okay. It was fine. Let's go to the second paper, because as I said, today we're going to work with the first part in the two papers. And next week we work with the second part. One day we explain, one day we practice, and then the last day in the class on Thursday, we're going to practice with the paper, with the printed papers. Okay. So let's get the second one. Do you have the second set? The one about the DVD?
Yeah. Yes.
Let me open this.
Also question 4, right? Right.
Okay, wait. Let's do it. Okay, so let's do it according to what they say. Okay, let me share it with you, because fortunately they have this in they have the page and they have the time and everything. Okay, so let me share. But it is, here it is. There's sound, nice. So 1 to 4. Okay, in this case, you need to answer more than 3 words. No, I don't like it. Let me see if I can find the second one. Let me check, please. Because the organization of this one is kind of different. So I need to learn where it is. DVD, DVD, Wow, it doesn't have the first part. No, it goes straight to the second part. 3 words and or a number. Yes, 1 to 4, this test is different. So let me get another one. So let's get it. This is numbers, name is some numbers. I don't know why they have it. Let me check it. Section 4. I don't know why, but I haven't found this part. Second. No, they this kind of exams, they mix part 1 and part 2. So the only ones they have is 39 and 40. And I don't want 39 and 40. But usually the organization is as we have said, as we have seen. First of all, you have this. Okay, a second. Let me see if here there is IELTS. Oh. Now coming soon. Sorry for the delay. Save connection. Okay. Multiple choice. Okay. Let me put it larger because I think you wouldn't see it. Okay, here we have. Here it is. They have a lot of stuff in here. Alan.com. Here it is. In this case, they have multiple choice as the last part. But it's usually the first part. That's why I don't know why they have changed the order. Okay. Once again. Choose the correct letters A to C and write answers next to 3540 on your answer sheet. Okay? So, 35. Yes?
I'm sorry, that's not the DVD questions?
No. Because the DVD, they integrated part 1 and part 2. So instead of having multiple choice, that test doesn't have multiple choice, but at the end of the recording.
Right.
Okay? So let's practice with this.
That questions are not in the printed pages.
No, this is something online because I'd like to practice multiple choice before we proceed with the other part.
Okay.
Choose 35 to 40. Choose the correct letters A to C and write answers 35 to 40 on your answer sheet. They're talking about archaeological things, okay? They say the coelacanth was well known to Indonesian fishermen, unknown to Indonesian fishermen, first in the market. The only difference between the Comoros coelacanth and the Sulawesi coelacanth is their intercranial joint, their paired fins, or the color. Coelacanths seems to have their greatest population 360 million years ago, 240 million years ago, 80 million years ago. Modern coelacanths probably left no fossilized remains of the past 80 million years because too much clay sediment. Conditions where they lived were not favorable for fossilization. Volcanoes are needed for fossilization. Scientists had a better understanding of the coelacanth after 1991 because the French government had previous limited study on the Comoros coelacanth. Comoros were far away and difficult to reach. Comoros opened an airport. On the 1991 expedition, scientists studied the coelacanth only from fishermen specimens, through the windows of their submarine, or from diving down. Okay?
Alejandra, what is coelacanth?
It's a prehistoric fish.
Ah, okay.
In
All
Spanish,
right.
we call it celacanto.
Ah, okay.
Okay, but actually, apparently, up to this moment, it's the only prehistoric fish that has been found in modern times. It is not that they are everywhere. They have got some in South Africa. Here they're talking about the Comoros and the Sulawesi Islands. Those are islands where fishermen have caught coelacanth. Okay, in Spanish is that celacanto. After we finish the class, I'm going to show you a picture of the coelacanth. Okay, so remember, only once. Okay, let me take because it doesn't have answers. So I need to get the answers alike.
The only coelacanth population in existence. Originally, it was a concern that the coelacanth might have a very limited range, and that overfishing along the Comoros Islands might wipe it out. However, scientists were amazed when, on July the 30th, 1998, an American scientist discovered a coelacanth population in Indonesia. Dr. Mark Erdmann was on a honeymoon trip to the area investigating a coral reef research site when he spotted a strange fish being wheeled into the fish market. He recognized the fish as a coelacanth and snapped a picture before it was sold. Dr. Erdmann's subsequent research revealed that the people from Sulawesi had a name for it: Raja, King of the Sea. The Sulawesi coelacanth colony is about 10,000 kilometers east of where the coelacanths were previously known to occur in the western Indian Ocean. Both Sulawesi and Comoros coelacanths are quite different from all other living fish. But perhaps the most interesting feature of the coelacanth is that it has paired lobed fins, which move in a similar fashion to our arms and legs. Coelacanths also have an extra lobe on their tail and a vertebral column that is not fully developed. They are the only living animal to have a fully functional intercranial joint, a division that separates the ear and brain from the nasal organs and eye, and allows the front part of the head to be lifted when the fish is feeding. The brown Sulawesi coelacanth and the steel blue Comoros coelacanth share these unusual characteristics. The discovery of the coelacanth in 1938 is still considered to be the zoological find of the century. This living fossil comes from a lineage of fish that was thought to have been extinct since the time of the dinosaurs. Coelacanths are known from the fossil record dating back over 360 million years, and peaked in abundance about 240 million years ago. Before 1938, they were believed to have become extinct approximately 80 million years ago, after mysteriously disappearing from the fossil record. How could the coelacanth disappear for over 80 million years, and then turn up alive and well in the 20th century? The answer seems to be that fossil coelacanths appeared to live in environments with clay sedimentation with plenty of volcanic activity. Modern coelacanths, both in the Comoros and Sulawesi, inhabit caves and overhangs in vertical marine reefs at about 200 meters, environments not conducive to fossil creation. In 1991, scientists got a better understanding of the fish when the Comoros got their independence from France, and French restrictions on research were lifted. This allowed scientists to study the fish off the Comoros Islands. As the animal hides in underwater caves some 300 to 700 feet down during the day, and comes out at night to feed, diving is not an option, and previously only fishermen specimens had been available for study. But this time the scientists had their own submarine, so they could study the coelacanth in its natural habitat through portholes.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Notice they say half a minute to check your answers because it is a computer taken test.
The only
All right.
coelacanth.
Okay. So what do you have in number 35?
Letter A.
Yes, well known to Indonesian fishermen. They say that they even have a name for the coelacanth, that was the kingfish.
Uh-huh.
The only difference between the Comoros coelacanth and the Sulawesi coelacanth is?
He mentioned all three choices, but I think it's A and B.
No. C,
No,
their color. Listen.
only
Listen, they give you a lot of information, but they at the end says the difference between the brown Comoros coelacanth and the blue Sulawesi coelacanth. So they are similar with the intercranial joint, both have it. Both of them have pair fins. I mean, two fins in the front and two fins at the back, las aletas, that make them like arms and legs. And at the end of the presentation, he says that's the only difference between the brown Comoros coelacanth and the blue Sulawesi coelacanth. Okay, so it's the color.
all right.
Coelacanths seem to have their greatest population when?
He also said the 3 years, but I choose A, B, and C.
No, they say it disappeared from the fossil remains 80 million years ago.
Yes.
The first fossil was found 360 million years ago. So which one is it? Remember that one of the techniques is cross out what is not the answer. If they say the first coelacanthus fossils were found with a date of 360 million years ago, so you say no, it's the first fossil. And here the question is the greatest population. And then they said the coelacanths disappeared from the fossil records 80 million years ago. And they were considered extinct. Ah, no, mira, se extinguieron hace 80, entonces lo único que me queda es 240.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Modern coelacanths probably left no fossilized remain over the past 80 million years. So this next question gives you the answer. 80 million is not. Okay?
Yes.
So why the modern coelacanths probably left no fossilized remains over the past 80 million years? Because?
I only has letter A.
No, it is letter B because they say the environment. The environment was not suitable for fossilization. They didn't use condition where they lived. They used the word environment.
But it says something about clay sediments.
Yes, they say something about clay sediments, and they also mention volcanic activity. Okay, but the important thing is that they say probably we wouldn't find the fossilized remains because the environment where they live was not favorable. Environment conditions where they lived. Water, plants, weather, etc. Scientists had a better understanding of the coelacanths after 1999 because
that is letter A and B. I have
B. The French government didn't limit anything. Okay, they didn't say the Comoros opened an airport, but they said that the Comoros were very remote. They were remote islands. So it is that they were far away. Remote and far away are synonyms. On the 1991 expedition, scientists studied the coelacanth only from fishermen specimens through the windows of the submarine or from diving down.
I have the from diving down. See,
they say that they live in a depth that is not possible to go diving. So it is through the windows of the submarine. They say the portholes. The word they use that gives you the key is the word portholes.
Right.
Those are escotillas.
Oh.
Those windows in submarines and ships. Okay, they are called portholes. So as soon as you listen to the word porthole, you know it's a submarine.
All right.
Let me check if I can show you.
Fun.
It was okay because you in the ones you were indecisive or you have doubts about it was one letter or the other, you get the right option. But you couldn't discriminate with what was the right one.
Yes.
Let me see. Okay, let me show you the horrible fish. This is the Selacanthus. And notice they are alive. So it is not it is not in a museum. Look at the size of the coelacanth.
Wow.
That's why she's called the kingfish. And when they talk about the fins, look at the fins. He has 2 on the front and 2 on the back that they move like arms and legs to swim.
Is aletas.
Yes, fins. F-I-N. No, F-I-N, if it is a fish. If it is double N, they are the chapaletas, diving fins. Okay, so look, it's not a beautiful fish. I think it's horrible fish. So look, yes, it's prehistoric. So,
but it has like lights. I don't know.
No, it's just spots. And look at the size of this. It's even larger than the other one. If you compare the size of the fish with the 2 men next to him, notice that this is even larger than the one. Look at this one. This is, of course, a model. And here you have the people saying coelacanths in the natural environment. Look at the size of this.
Wow.
So it's a living fossil because it was supposed to be extinct. Look at this, for 80 million years. And actually, it is alive.
Wow.
Look at the size with the diver. I remember when I read that new, because I was in 1970 something, I was in high school when I read about this, the coelacanth, the only living fossil up to now. Because the other that is considered living fossil is the crocodiles and turtles.
Yeah.
Reptiles. They are supposedly that what they changed were their size. I mean, prehistorical crocodiles were really larger, as well as turtle. And that's why it's so interesting that when Darwin got to the Galapagos Island, he found those large tortoises.
Yes.
That this hasn't evolved. Okay. So that is all for today. Tell Jose Miguel, please, to watch the classroom, and please to do the exercise by himself. Don't tell
Yes.
him.
I was going to ask you, the audios we get from the class recording.
Yes, I'm gonna put them in the classroom.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, nice. So have a very nice weekend. See you next Tuesday. Okay.
See you.
Bye-bye.